Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today's video is a special video hosted by yours truly, World War II in the Eyes of the Beholder, and today we will be going through the World War II American tank, the M3 Lee. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, I had an opportunity to go on multiple tanks over the weekend. We went to Tank Farm in Knoxville, Virginia, and I had the opportunity to go in, look, and be on some of these amazing historical items and tanks, and I even had the opportunity to ride in one. So Tank Farm, Virginia was amazing. I went there with my unit. It was very fun, very informative, and overall I just had a blast. So without further ado, let's get into the video and we'll explain and break down, just some fun facts, and we'll take a look at the M3 Lee. The M3 Stuart, or the M3 Lee as the Americans called it, is an American-made medium tank. The M3 Lee replaced the very unsuccessful M2 tank. The M3 was in blueprint right after the US government realized that the M2 tank was not sufficient for what they had in mind. We can see blueprints for the M3 Lee all the way back to 1938. However, the blueprints were not ready until 1940, meaning the first M3s to roll off the line did not occur until late 1941. The M3 Lee saw action in all theaters. The US gave many tanks to many different countries, seeing action with American, Russian, Australian, British, and many more countries. Many different models of the M3 Lee were made, one of the more commonly made being the M3 Grant. The M3 Grant was essentially the M3 Lee, but with a bigger barrel and a few other moderations. The M3 Grant was the British-made M3 Lee. Aside from various British models made, we can see that the M3A1, A2, A3, A4, and even A5 models were made, all of them being slightly different when it came to armament, assembly, and material. The standard M3, weighing about 30 tons, is approximately 18 feet 6 inches long, and 8 feet 11 inches wide. M3 Lee stands 10 feet 3 inches high and holds a crew of 7. The tank armament consists of one 75mm cannon and one 37mm anti-tank cannon. The M3 Lee can carry from 2 to 4 M1919 30 cal machine guns. The standard M3 Lee used a Wright R-975 Whirlwind engine, producing up to 450 horsepower. On one full tank of gas, or 175 gallons, the M3 Lee had an operational range of 120 miles. The maximum speed of an M3 Lee was about 26 miles per hour on road and about 16 miles per hour off-road. However, because of problems with the M3 Lee, like armament, riveting problems, and many other issues, the M3 Lee only saw action for the first half of the war. However, an occasional one may have been seen use by the Free French or other small countries. Over 6,250 were made, but because of its faults, it was later replaced with the famous and infamous M4 Sherman. Over the weekend, the boys and I played many games of tank. Basically, this game is where you have people get into both the M5 Stuart and the M3 Lee, and we traverse turrets and act out tank warfare. It is very fun and very entertaining. And yes, sounds are mandatory.
Yep. Alright.
You already know, boys in a tank, except for no one has not gotten his bayonet stuck yet. Hey Kate, say hi. Next up we have the M4 Sherman. The M4 Sherman I also had an opportunity to see at this tank farm. It was really cool. They had two there. They had an A3, M4 Sherman A3, and an M4 Sherman A1. Now, the A1 of the M4 Sherman is actually the oldest running model of the M4 Sherman in the entire world. It's the oldest running M4 Sherman, which is really cool and really impressive. I really enjoyed being on it and seeing it and checking it out. So, without further ado, let's get into the M4 Sherman and how it worked and how it was and how it performed in history. The M4 Sherman, one of the most popular tanks used by the Allies in World War II. The M4 Sherman saw action in all theaters of war and was used by many countries. The US M4 Sherman was a tank developed after the M3 Lee could not meet the standards of an efficient medium tank. The American-made medium M4 Sherman tank was developed in late of 1940, and later in October of 1941, M4s started mass production. However, the first M4 Shermans would not see any action until October of 1942, fighting with the British units at the Second Battle of El Alamein. The standard M4 Sherman tank could range from 19 to 20 feet in length and 8 to 9 feet in width. Standing at over 9 feet tall, the beast, that is the M4 Sherman, had an average of 420 horsepower. The M4 Sherman topped at speeds up to 30 miles per hour, with an effective range of 100 to 150 miles. This gas guzzler can swallow up to 170 gallons on one full tank. As for armor, the M4 Sherman is as thick as 12.7 millimeters in its weakest point, but up to 170 millimeters at its thickest point. That's a range of 1/2 inch to 7 inches. With all of this armor, the tank weighed up to 33 tons.
Suppressive fire from the tank. Team starts laying down a basic fire. Second fire.
The M4 Sherman was equipped with either a 75mm cannon or a 76mm cannon. Accompanying this was one 50 cal on the top of the tank and up to two 30 cals. You may ask what it takes to run a tank like this. It takes at least 5 guys to run the standard M4 Sherman. A commander, a gunner, a loader, a driver, and an assistant driver, and or / bow gunner. Many models of the M4 Sherman were made, models increasing engine power, armament, range, and strength. But not all were made by the US. Some were made by the British. Aside from different models, many attachments were made for the M4 Sherman. Ones that blew mines, built bridges, cleared other obstacles, and even flamethrowers. Aside from this, bigger guns were added to many a M4 Sherman, with the most common one being the stronger M4 Firefly. A stronger 76.2mm gun replaced the smaller one. This gave the M4 Sherman a little more power to defeat the stronger Panzers used by the Germans. The M4 Sherman was a mass production vehicle. By no means was it close to the power and efficiency of the modern Panzers and T-34s of its time. However, the M4 Sherman was just good enough to produce easily and quickly. Giving strength in numbers, over 49,000 M4 Shermans were made during World War II. The M4 Sherman was used by the US Army all the way through Korea and up until 1957, when it was officially decommissioned by the US military. But after its decommissioning, the M4 Sherman would still be used by many smaller countries.
Suppressive fire from the tank. They're using high explosive. First fire team, they get into position. They start laying down a base of fire in support of that tank. Second fire team gets into position.
Thank you so much everyone for checking out my video. I would encourage you to leave a like, to share this video, and just to subscribe to help out the channel a little bit. A lot of effort was put into this video, and I would really appreciate it. I had an amazing weekend at Tank Farm in Nokesville, Virginia. I would encourage you guys to come down next year. It is a big event. We had thousands of people come out and check all the the tanks and equipment that was there. I can post a link to their website in the description if any of you guys are interested in attending in the future. So without further ado, thank you guys for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one.